Have you ever done any pranks that may have gone too far to where you almost got in serious trouble and you lived to regret it for the rest of your life? Well, if you had done these, then you would probably understand why I'm telling you this. This is a story about the time I did a prank that went too far that I regretted doing this for the rest of my life. With that being said, before we start this, never ever ever do this at all, especially what I did, because it will come back to haunt you. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to slap a like on it and let's get into it right now. So this story goes back many years ago when I was still a child. I remember some things that were said and happened, but not all of it, and I can only remember a few things. I know it was either in the afternoon or in the morning, but what happened was that my mom and sister were doing something, and I was up in my room bored out of my mind. I was sitting on my bed just watching TV, and it was one of my favorite shows to watch, but I was still bored at the same fucking time. And as I was sitting there, I started to remember that I used to watch this one show where someone had made prank calls to other people, making up some bullshit lies and everything else, and then hangs up. So I was like, maybe I should do this. And I know someone is going to comment and be like, really, Xav? Are you serious? I was bored out of my mind. I mean, I didn't know what else to do, so I just decided to do this. So what I did was I went to the kitchen and I picked up the phone. And it was one of those old house phones that we used to have, but we don't use those anymore. So what I did was I went to the kitchen and picked up the phone, and it was one of them old house phones that we used to have, and we don't use those anymore. So I picked it up, and I was trying to think of some random number to call. Now, I didn't know any numbers that I could think of, and it was hard to come up with a line to the people I was calling. And after about 5 minutes of sitting there, trying to think, and I just simply gave up and was about to put the phone down. But then that's when something came to mind. And as I said at the beginning of this video, don't ever try this at all if you decide to do prank calls, because this could fuck you over at any time. And what I thought was I was going to prank call the cops. That was the one thing you should never do at all, is make false calls to the police, because you'll either get fined or it ends up getting worse. So what I did was I dialed 911 and I waited for someone to answer. And sure enough, a lady answered and said, 911, what's your emergency? And before I could answer, I just froze, and I didn't know what else to say. So a few seconds go by, the lady kept asking hello, and do you know what I did instead of saying something? I just hung the phone up and ran back to my room. No fucking joke. That is what I fucking did, and I was just sitting on my bed laughing because I just called the fucking police and hung up on them. And I thought I was in the clear, but no, I wasn't. The phone started to ring again, where I was like, oh fuck, because I was wondering if my mom or sister was going to answer it. But thank God they didn't answer, because they was going out to the store and they wanted me to go. And as we were walking out of the house phone started to ring again. And honestly, my mom and sister didn't hear it because I closed the door real quickly before they even heard it. As we were going to different places, my mind kept racing to where I was like, oh fuck, am I going to end up going to jail for that? What the fuck was I thinking? Because I was scared that they were going to come to my house and either give my mom a fine, and thus everything is ruined. And sure enough, they didn't go to my mom's house, but instead they called her phone, because she said, oh Greg, what did your dad do this time? And why she said that is because, well, he did some things to where he's been to jail a lot, and I'm not going to say what they were because of privacy reasons, but I can tell you they were worse. But the one thing on my mind was like, how did they get my mom's phone number? How the fuck did they get my mom's phone number? Because I was still trying to figure that out. So my mom answers the phone, and I knew it had to be either the lady or someone different, and they asked her if she called 911. And she told them no, and the person on the phone told her that someone had called them and then says the call was traced back to where her house was. And she kept telling them that she didn't make the call, and sure enough they believed her. And I'm surprised they didn't ask her if I had something to do with it. Now, as we were getting home, my mom was trying to figure out how this happened, and still nobody even suspected it was me. And I was like home free and knew I had dodged a bullet, or so I thought. And I know someone is going to say, Xav, there's no possible way you could have gotten caught or your mom didn't figure it out. Well, you couldn't be more right, because after we got home and about a few minutes go by, she figured it out because she asked me and I ended up getting in a lot of fucking trouble. And thank God we didn't get a fine, because that would have made things way worse. I mean, fucking way worse. But yeah, that was the story about the time I prank called the police and they end up calling my mom and thus I get caught. And the moral of this story is, don't ever make prank calls to the police, otherwise your life is going to be ruined because they trace the call. You only call them in case of emergencies. And if you guys ever done any prank calls on something or just did a prank on someone, but it went too far or it made things worse for you, let me know in the comments down below, because I know some of y'all, but not everyone, had done something in their life that almost fucked up everything. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to slap a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, leave your stories in the comments down below, and I will see you all later. Peace.